Morning, it's Tuesday morning. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here. It is going to be an active afternoon and into this evening across eastern Ohio and western PA. So I thought I would do a morning update on the latest trends and the latest risks we think that we have to pay attention to as we get into the second half of the day today. First things first, the radar this morning. We have lots of clouds overhead this morning, and actually a little bit of rain is tracking through western and central Ohio this morning, and I think we're going to get clipped by this around midday. I think there will be a period of showers around midday with just a small risk of thunder during that time frame around midday. Not expecting severe weather with that, and that'll be an important ingredient for how things, transpire today. Will that midday shower activity stabilize the atmosphere enough and for long enough to lower the risk for severe weather with the next round later in the day? That's something that we're not quite sure of just yet, but it is a possibility that these midday showers will do us a favor and make it so the atmosphere does not become quite as unstable. Let's take a look at the risk outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, a mid-morning update. And again, you hear me talk about this often. If you think of our severe weather risk scale as a 1 to 5 scale, the yellow color, or a slight risk, is a 2 on that 1 to 5 scale. And that yellow kind of a 2 risk, a level 2 risk, extends roughly from about the Mahoning-Columbiana line on south through the Pittsburgh area and down to the southwest towards Columbus. Farther to the north, it's like a 1 on that 1 to 5 scale. It's not negligible. We have to pay attention to it. It just looks like the highest risk for damaging winds and perhaps isolated tornado activity will be mostly in our southern viewing area and heading down into central and southeast Ohio as well. In fact, let's look at the probabilities of an isolated tornado today. Now, these numbers are pretty low, right? 2%, 5%. But, again, something that I talk about often when I show these, risks, when you consider an average day across our area, the tornado risk is about 0. A 2% risk is orders of magnitude higher than that. And we do have a 5% risk of a tornado within 25 miles of any location in this brown area south of Route 30. So this is more aimed towards Tuscarawas County, down into southern Carroll County, down into Jefferson County, into the panhandle of West Virginia, and then down into southeast Ohio, closer to Athens, Parkersburg, Marietta, and this gets back to Columbus as well. That's where it looks like there'll be the best combination of wind shear along with steep, what we call lapse rates, ability for the air to rise quickly, and you get some pretty good storm updrafts as a result. So here's a model product, and what you see here is what we call the updraft helicity. This is where that combination of wind shear, changing of the wind direction and speed with height, combined with rising air parcels and fast updrafts, comes together. And, there's kind of a zone that really kind of stands out here. And again, it's mostly southeast Ohio, panhandle of West Virginia, maybe far southwest PA as well. That's where there may be the best ingredients for these updrafts that can take advantage of some of the wind shear. Maybe a little bit of a bullseye also across northern Ohio, closer to Sandusky, Lorain, heading over towards maybe Cleveland as well. Again, even though these are kind of the bullseyes, that doesn't mean that we can't see some sort of some spinners, if you will, in areas farther to the north. It just looks like the risk is higher to our south and to our southwest. So this is another way to look at it. This is kind of similar to the official Storm Prediction Center outlook that I showed you a moment ago. This product right here, this is the official Storm Prediction Center tornado outlook today. This is model data, but it lines up pretty well with what the SPC has out, that 5% tornado risk, Parkersburg, Marietta, Athens, heading up towards Dover, New Philly, maybe catching parts of Carroll County, Jefferson County as well, and then 2% farther to the north. And once you're far enough to the north, up into northern Trumbull, northern Mercer, it looks like just the ingredients aren't going to come together there for a significant tornado risk. So it definitely will favor areas a little bit farther to the south today. Let's take a look at one of our high-res models here, showing what the radar should look like as we go through time. I'll put the clock times over here. So this will start first thing this morning, and then we'll roll forward. Again, midday showers will be a possibility. This will be right around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then as we go into the late afternoon, so 3 and then especially 4 or 5 o'clock, this is when we have to start paying attention to what's going on. I think the severe weather risk across the region will escalate pretty quickly as we head towards early evening, maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. Some of these little Boeing segments that the model depicts here, any of these could have some damaging straight line winds. And also, we'll have to watch in these Boeing segments for little what we call kinks in that line, that Boeing line of storms. You can get these little parts of the Boeing lines that have some rotation within them. That'll be something we'll be watching out for by early this evening. Now, this is kind of just one round. As we go deeper into the evening, there could be another round or two of heavy gusty storms between, say, 7 and 10 p.m. The tornado risk with these is probably going to be quite a bit lower than with that initial round early in the evening and mostly in our southern viewing area. But these will still pose a threat, I think, for some gusty winds. Hail is kind of a tertiary threat today. Could we see some small hail in some of these storms? Yes, but is it the kind of hail that's going to do damage and dent things and that sort of thing? No, probably not. It's probably more what we call, kind of conversational hail. I'd say the number one risk overall is just wind. So if you have loose outdoor objects today, make sure you secure those before we get into the afternoon. One thing I didn't talk about much is the rain threat. Now, these storms will be moving at a pretty good pace today, but if any location gets a few different rounds of storms, even though they'll be moving pretty quickly, if you get 3 rounds of thunderstorms, these can be efficient rain producers today. So in some of the more flood-prone areas that oftentimes in spring and summertime storms get too much water, some local streets flood and that sort of thing, that might be something we have to watch out for also late afternoon into this evening. Again, each individual little cluster of storms will be moving pretty quickly, but if you get a few of those in a few hours, then there could be some problems with a little too much water. So it's going to be a busy day today. Of course, we'll have you covered on social media, on the Storm Tracker 21 app, and on our newscasts on air. And you can always stream those newscasts online as well on WFMJ.com, the Storm Tracker 21 app, and the 21 News app as well. I'll see you this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11. Make it a great Tuesday.